Thank you. Thanks for coming, everyone, in this cold, terrible weather. Nice to see everybody. We have a couple things on the agenda tonight. The first is the vote on our recommendation of the article for the special town meeting, which I guess everybody should know by now is this proposal to build a new school. So we have to kind of look at it from the finance perspective and give our recommendation at town meeting. So just going to open up the floor to discussion. Thoughts?
I absolutely agree with you that it's an emotional decision and it's a very expensive decision. From a finance point of view, taking out any personal emotion, we're going to have to spend money. And what we're going to have to figure out is, do we want to put money into an asset? Or do we want to make do, have the increased expense until we go forward with the asset in the future? From a financial point of view, to me, I think we should be building the school. And I know it's expensive, and I know it's going to be painful. But I also know that I've been involved from the beginning. I saw all the numbers when we were looking at what was the best reimbursement. It did work out with the higher numbers that the reimbursement was a little bit better. It's tough, but from a financial point of view, I think we should recommend.
Okay. Other thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know if I see that same, whether or not we should. I think coming in here, my thought was more of, it's a big burden. We already have a few different burdens on our plate, and we know there's some in the future. And I just don't know if this particular project is really the one we wanted. That was my thought coming in. I was surprised for you to say that, but I do think we need changes, for sure.
I've been trying to think about this more holistically. And the town has ignored this septic situation. We have a septic situation in the center of town which services a lot of buildings. Septic systems don't last forever. A lot of the decisions that were made for the school were based on, well, we can only do this much this place because of septic constraints. Or we can only do, we've had to remove the little ones from the school we hope to build because we can't handle the septic in this new location. I know I'm going backwards and there are things that were out of the scope of the building committee. But I think we could have made better decisions going forward than we ended up making because of the restrictions that were placed on us by the Massachusetts School Building Authority. So we came to this place because we were kind of forced into this place. We do need to pay very serious attention to our schools, but I think we need to take a more holistic approach that's going to solve more problems. We still haven't solved the problem for the administration. They still have a place that is lousy over at Spring Street School. We have now the Howard School is a leftover, which that is an unknown. And I do worry about seniors. 26% of our community is seniors.
Yeah.
And I go to Trukey's to do my shopping. A lot of old people don't go to Market Basket because they can't handle it. And I look at the people looking at the bargain thing, the leftover stuff, the old bakery things. I see it every day there. And I think there's a part of our population, admittedly, I'm one of them, I'm a senior. I can afford the increase to pay for the schools, but I know a lot of our people can't. So I have issues about maybe not thinking more globally about what we're going to need. We need to solve a lot more problems than just what this school is going to solve.
Mhm.
We need to support the children, absolutely. I have no doubt that the education the kids are getting is good now. I really don't have any doubt. We visited the schools,
Mhm.
and they look like wonderful places to
Mm.
me. I know everybody's talking about technology. We need to go forward. We need to do this. Our whole world is going to change in the next 2 years. AI is going to take over. And I'm not sure even the school will be ready for that kind of transition.
Yeah.
So I have doubts, and I have reservations for those reasons. That's
Yeah.
what I had to say.
I've spent a lot of time thinking about this and trying to get input from as many sources as I can, from seniors to, in a whole segment of the population I call, middle class, and the middle of the middle class, not upper middle, but right in the middle, and a lot of them are parents. I haven't talked to a lot of them, but a few that I know in town. And even though they have children in the schools, the increased potential tax increase is too much for them. But they said, thank God for a ballot vote, because they thought the pressure to vote for the school as parents would be overwhelming.
Mm.
The seniors, you spoke well about the seniors. It's fixed income. I live in an over 55 community. Some can afford it and some cannot. I mean, it's just going to be too much. The water situation coming up is going to be expensive. 20 mil?
20 million is the total amount of bonded, yes.
Okay. So that's
already been approved at town.
That's a big
But we
chunk.
haven't seen that in our bills yet.
That's
No.
correct, because we
Yeah.
just bonded it. The treatment plants are in the process, so you're correct. I don't know the exact date, but I'm anticipating sometime by the end of this year. I would assume that those votes would be taken from the water commissioners, but I honestly don't have an answer to that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I don't see budgets overall going down in town. I mean, people need to make more money to pay for what we have to pay for. It's as simple as that, too. Although, interestingly enough, both my son and daughter-in-law that work, one's for a private property investment company, and the other's works for Citibank. They didn't get any raises this year.
Mm.
They got small bonuses, but no raises. So you can see the squeeze on the economy. I think affordability is a big issue right now. In the end, I came down on the side of voting no. A lot of unanswered questions with regard to the selection, I think. I wasn't on the committee, so I can't honestly say they were poor decisions that were made. But in light of all of that, there's no doubt we need to do something. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but I just don't think the timing is right now. And from what David said to me the other night, we do have faster options, I think, to reapply. Is that
No, let me just clarify.
Yeah.
The question was posed, is there a 10-year wait?
right?
Because that has been thrown out there.
Yeah.
The answer to that is there's no law, rule, or regulation to preclude you from refiling. So that's what I was saying. So if you want to refile a year from now, you could. MSBA has no legal authority to tell you that you can't. There's no guarantee that they're going to say yes or no.
Yeah.
It is more likely than not, I should say.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to go, they're not going to fast track you.
No,
Because you've already had a no.
That's right. That's right.
But I think the spirit of the conversation was, is there a rule, regulation, or law that says that you must wait 10 years before you either reapply or MSBA can render a decision? And the answer to that is no.
That was interesting to know. So that's where I am. It's take me a long time to get to that, believe me.
Okay.
So I just, that's where I am.
Sue?
So, as with everybody else here, and obviously with all the members from the school building committee, there's so much thought that's gone into this and weighing out all of the variables and the effects of what decision is going to lead to. I just feel that as a town right now, that we're caving into the MSBA because they're saying, well, we're only gonna give you this money if you do it our way.
Exactly.
And I understand that the school building, and I mean, I sat in on the high school one, it's a tremendous amount of hours and just, thought process, but I just feel that this isn't a good fit for our town. I think it's too big. I mean, they made their presentation, they
Yeah.
put numbers up there, and in 20 years, we'll meet that 1,075 number. Actually, I think it was 1,077. I don't know about you guys, but my wallet can't afford to build something that's going to meet its goals in 20 years.
Mm.
That's just
Yeah.
my very simple way of saying it. The other point was, so did you get the supporting information that they
Yeah,
had sent
I sent
for
it
the
off
meeting?
to everyone. I hope everybody got it. Sometimes I have a little challenge with attachments, but
So when I was reviewing it, I couldn't find in that the itemization to support like $97 million.
yeah, it's kind of like a laundry list of what they think might need to be done, but not really priced out. So I don't know how they got to the number.
So that was a concern for me as well.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know they provided the backup information.
Yeah.
So now we weigh out, okay, so that project's not a good fit. And now, Mo, you brought up about the time. How long do we have to wait? There is no rule, as David said, and I know that. But the MSBA is not paying this tax. We are.
Right, right.
We're all paying it. And I'm absolutely in favor of a new school. Do we need them? Yes, we absolutely do. But maybe this isn't the project that is going to meet everybody's needs. There's going to be a grumble if taxes go up. I understand that, of course. But I just think that this is going to substantially hurt many people in our town. And I just can't vote in favor of that. Just can't.
Chris?
Yeah, I don't think I've heard this from anybody yet, but there was a big separation on the school building committee on who voted for it and who voted against it. And it seemed like there was a large population of school people that were on that building committee that voted for the price tag and where it's being built. And I think that if we're going to spend this kind of money, we need to have people that are more inclined to building projects than what we had on this. I know when they did the high school, they kind of brought people in that were specialists in HVAC and in certain areas of building buildings. And maybe I missed something with what I watched and what I saw with this project, but it doesn't seem like that was done in the same way.
Mm.
And the price tag, to me, and the taxes and the increase, I just can't fathom how we can afford to spend that kind of money on, like Sue said, on a population that's 20 to 30 years out of getting to the point where we're going to have that many kids in the school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think things are gonna change dramatically in the way we educate our children.
yeah, I do too. I do too.
I think we're building to what we know now. And I don't know if you've done any research, but AI is gonna change a lot of things. And I think we're not gonna need a lot of the infrastructure we may be building to. So,
Whole different infrastructure.
it'll be completely
Right.
different.
But I mean, to the
Yeah.
point of 20 years, it's like, so what do you do with the other half of that school for that amount of time?
Right.
And what happens there?
Yeah,
We don't want to load up with school choice.
because
I'm
then you
not saying
can't,
that's a bad thing, right?
well, you
So
can't
I
fit them
read-
in the high school though,
but
like when
that's
they,
it. You can't build more
Right.
road
Yeah.
because then the high school's gonna
Yeah.
have to expand.
so,
Well, then we're going to look at projects for the road.
mhm.
There's going to be additional traffic coming down North Elm Street. There's going to have to be some money spent on that.
Mm.
The Roselle septic system's gonna, at some point, how old is that? So that's gonna have to, be at some
Yeah,
point,
we have like a ticking time bomb
Upgrade.
in
Yeah.
the
I
town
mean, with-
about the whole septic
it's
situation.
life, right? It's,
know.
every homeowner has that same
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah. But
So-
what struck me, a couple things that struck me, as I did the walkthroughs, I thought the Howard School was in really pretty good shape. I was surprised. It was spotless. It was really looked nice to me. I as I sat back and thought, since we've done the tour, I thought maybe we should have gone for a smaller school that would have held, like, I don't know, 1st through 4th or kindergarten through 4th, and then let 5th and 6th spread out in the Howard, because it's, you know, it would have been that much bigger, right? Because you would have freed up a whole class worth of kids. You know, I just don't know that one massive school that's going to house 1,075 children when we only have 665 now.
Well, again,
makes
it was
sense.
the MSBA that they don't want to keep coming back to the town and building different schools. They
Yeah, I
want towns to
understand.
consolidate.
Yeah,
So they create these criteria, which kind of backs towns into making a decision within their criteria. So they
Yeah.
get the funding.
yeah,
So we get the funding.
yeah. I mean, I'm concerned about that it's still encroaching on the wetlands. They haven't gone to conservation.
Well,
We
there-
don't know
yeah,
if that's
there are
gonna
committees
pass.
it has to go through too,
Yeah.
but
We're still gonna keep Spring Street, which I thought was in the worst shape of all the schools. And I think that means additional money we're gonna have to spend on that school,
On
because
maintenance.
to your point, the administrative, I think it was you, the administrative people are still there.
Right.
And they're still gonna have kids there. And that school, to me, was probably it seemed, just, you know, I'm not a builder, I'm not a school expert, but it seemed like it was in the worst shape of all the schools, and we're not even addressing that. And that whole septic system over there that's supporting all those schools now is gonna have to be replaced, regardless of what we do, whether we build this new school or don't. So that's another huge expense, right? So I agree, I feel like it's sort of pieces and parts, but all put together, we're still gonna be on the hook for quite a bit of money in addition to the cost of this particular building.
Right.
And that concerns me. I have to say, it concerned me a little bit that we're not expecting any, you know, operational budget reduction by putting almost all the kids in one school, which I would have expected we would have expected some savings there. So that kind of concerned me. I have a lot of concerns about this still. And to build a big, huge school, and even if you do fill it with school choice kids, then the taxpayers of West Bridgewater are paying for this absolutely beautiful building for other towns' kids.
Where I was
And they're
going
not,
with
you
school
know.
choices, though, school choice will bring us in money, which is nice, and it does help alleviate some of that bill
Yes.
to us. It just, the concern is if we take too many in on the elementary school, then
Yeah.
it's going to blow up the high school.
Yeah,
And you can't just expect people to go to Pound Spelman or
Right.
Southeastern. So
Yeah.
that would be my concern growing that. So,
yeah.
short of, you know, telling people to stop building so many houses around there. it's-
Well, the only way to do that is to buy the land and pay the taxes yourself, right? I
well,
mean,
some
you can't
towns do
stop it.
that, you know.
Yeah, I
We
know.
have towns that do exactly that. They
Yeah.
buy the land and
I know.
Yeah, and just, if I could, I just want to clarify one item. I don't really want to speak for someone, but I think I'm in a safe spot on this. If Gary was here, I think he would let you know that the makeup of the committee this time versus last time was pretty similar.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think it's 27 now, 26 then. In both cases, I wasn't in the 2012 committee from the beginning. I was when I got on board in 2013. In both cases, it seemed like it was dominated by school-related people. But I think the makeup is very similar. And if there was HVAC specialist at that time, I'm sure that's true. It may have just been that it was the same person who had that specialty that was also part of that same makeup as today. So I just want to let you know.
Okay.
I don't think that makes a difference to what you were saying, but I want to make sure that.
I think
you
the
know, I gave
big
you
part of
honest,
the
you know,
school building committee vote on the high school was it was unanimous, if I am not mistaken.
was it?
Yeah, I was. I don't
I'm
know.
pretty sure.
Pretty sure it was.
And the
Interesting.
vote this time was
Very
15 to 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
And if-
Oh, that was different circumstances. We were at risk of losing credit.
Understood.
Recommendation.
Yeah.
Understood.
So,
I still think it's a big, I mean, you had a lot of people voting against it on the school building committee that was there the whole time the project was being talked about.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
But we're recommending only.
That's right. It
That is
is
correct.
ultimately up to the,
Right.
I'm gonna say the taxpayers, but the taxpayers that go to town meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think there was some confusion about whether there's a vote on Saturday, and there is a vote on Saturday.
Yes.
There is, if it passes, there is a subsequent vote, correct?
Yes.
That would be required.
Yep, so the process is, at town meeting, you're actually voting to authorize borrowing for this. That requires a 2/3 vote. If that passes at 2/3, the selectmen then would have to call a referendum vote. There would be a 45-day window, because you have to give enough notice to the town. So that would be somewhere around mid to late March. I don't have a date, that hasn't been selected yet. It'll be somewhere, just count out 45 days from their next meeting on February 4th. And then that would be a majority vote that would be required, because that vote would be, do you authorize this specific project to mirror that borrowing article? So that would be the process. So it
Thank you.
requires both in order to pass.
So again, the vote would be to borrow about $170 million.
That is correct. That's a good point. I'm glad. So the motion will say $170 million, because although we know that there will be an MSBA reimbursement of around 72 million, that brings the net impact to the taxpayer at 97 million. You have to approve the total amount, because as you go through the process, the reimbursement from MSBA may change. There may be costs that do not qualify, whatever the formula happens. And so you are not approving the 97 million, you're approving the 169 million.
So that raises a good point, though, with all the stuff that's going on at the federal level. Is the match from the funding from the state guaranteed?
I
Or
would
is
say
that at risk?
I would say that the funding is more guaranteed than not, because it is a
Okay.
direct revenue source off of your sales tax. It
Okay,
is not impacted by the federal level, and it is current statute. So the legislature can't say, oh, I'm gonna go into this trust fund and pull the money out. So I
to
would
use
say,
it for something else
Exactly.
that
So
might
it's
not
not-
be funded?
correct. So
Okay.
I would say that kitty, if you want to call it that, has a lot of state control over it.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, what's that?
I didn't know it was funded by the sales tax.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you for that information.
yeah. Any other discussion, anything anybody wants to bring up, or I can take a motion for a vote or?
So could I just ask one last quick question?
Yeah,
So
you can ask
at
as
the,
many as you want, this
at
is a big
the-
decision.
at the school building meetings, so Cheryl and then Mary, you guys are on those, right? Is there anyone else from here? Oh, sorry, Scott. So there were discussions of a different size project, right? From K through fourth, I believe.
Yeah,
You
sorry.
missed that one?
I
Sorry.
missed that one, sorry.
So,
Yes, there were. Yeah.
and it was the MSBA that came in to say, no, we're gonna do the bigger size project because they wanted to consolidate and be done with
Right.
West Bridgewater, right?
Right.
That was the intention
It
essentially.
actually came to a vote at one, well, not to a vote, it was discussed at length, but the group moved on from that.
Why? Do you remember why?
I don't remember who moved it.
We came down to, what was it, pre-K to 4, and then kindergarten to 6.
Yeah.
We wanted to do pre-K to 6, but the numbers didn't work. There were too many bodies on site.
So they took out the pre-K, which is
Right.
how we ended up where
Is how
we
we
were.
ended up at kindergarten to 6. I do remember the reimbursement rate was better on the K to 6 than it was for the pre-K to 4.
Because
The
it was more
percentage?
expensive of a project. I mean,
I
is that
know.
relative?
It's the
It was
why?
percent, it was the ratio. They were
Okay.
going to give us more per dollar.
Because we're gonna cover probably more
It was a higher-
population.
Higher reimbursement rate.
Yeah,
Mm.
you know,
Okay.
it's, I still bristle at their formulas, so.
Right,
um,
right.
I have to agree with you, but looking at just the numbers of all the choices, I think this one made the most sense.
Mm.
It still doesn't suit the needs of the town, that's the problem. It really,
Mm.
it doesn't solve all the problems.
No.
Yeah, it's a lot of money to not solve all the problems.
Yeah.
I mean, usually you just kind of purchase what you can afford. You know, the general kind of
Yeah.
theory in everyday living, right?
Yep.
But again, I was thinking, put the pre-K to 4, in the center of town, but then the whole issue of the septic system comes in. Said we can't have all those little kids, every room had to have a toilet. We can have all that flow going into the general.
So
So
then,
then they're talking, well, at the expense of the town, we're gonna have to build a
Water
treatment.
treatment.
Treatment plant.
But we
And
might
you
have
couldn't-
a-
couldn't
Overall,
get it,
native would have been a better
couldn't get
decision.
it on that site though.
Well,
Maybe we'll
right,
need
but
that
that's
anyways
building
though,
for the
right?
future, right? Because
Yes.
that would service so many other
Other needs,
Right.
yes.
needs.
But it was
And the
beyond the
money-
scope.
But the
that
money that we
septic
save,
would have been on the town, there would be no reimbursement for that, so they basically said, well, that's out of the scope of
Right.
what our discussion is as a school building
so,
research.
so us as finance committee for our recommendation, if we look at the money that we could say that you save the town on this project, could then be better spent on the septic system for a lower cost project. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But if
Mhm.
it's a lower cost project, we wouldn't need the water treatment plant. Right.
Over at the Howard?
Right.
They wanted to replace the Howard, that's the site originally, that's when they said, wait a minute.
We can't.
I think that's when they started talking about the septic system. But to your point, it does, I think it does.
Right.
Police, fire, the schools.
Yeah, that's why I'm
So
thinking
that
it's
would be a
gonna have to be
town-wide
replaced anyways, right?
benefit.
Well, they were
Right.
saying it had 15 years left, at least. If I remember correctly, I wanna say.
I don't know, was it Art who was talking about that? I don't remember.
Yes, I was teasing.
I'm a little confused though, why,
For being so knowledgeable.
just because there's more toilets, there's the same amount of kids, so isn't it whether they stand in line or each have a toilet in a room, like, I don't understand how that works.
So it's not the under Title V,
Yeah,
the daily flow is based on gallons per day per person, regardless of how many toilet facilities there are.
right,
So
so,
that's why it all came down to bodies.
right, so how, I don't understand why the number of toilets mattered, or is that,
It
did I
wasn't the number of
misunderstand?
toilets,
Okay.
It was the number of.
The
Kids.
number was the
Okay.
maximum
So-
student population
Oh.
too.
So,
but there's
So-
that many
Toilet.
kids there now, right?
Are you referring back to the Howard site?
Yeah,
Yeah, so on the Howard site, there is an on-site septic system. We all know where it is. It's adjacent to 106 under the original first field. And that services multiple municipal buildings, the Spring
Okay.
Street High School and Howard School.
okay,
If we were to build a larger school at that site, i.e. say K through 4, pre-K
oh, a
through
larger
4,
school at that
then that
site.
would have tipped the daily flow to make it into a wastewater
Got
treatment
it.
plant.
Okay,
In order to do the wastewater treatment plant, it would have required a lot more study. Obviously, it would have been more expensive. And if I recall correctly, the concern is that there was then going to be, because we're going to have to go through DEP, when you do an on-site septic, that is an approval through the Board of Health. A wastewater treatment plant is an approval through DEP. So we could have still moved forward to potentially site a wastewater treatment plant there for all the facilities, including the new school. But as Gary had said at the time, we would have been rolling the dice because you would have been going through this process. And a year later, DEP may have said no. And I think he was right when he said that would be unfair to be saying to residents, vote for this now,
Yep.
but a year from now, we don't know what that decision is going to be.
Agreed.
And so that's why they couldn't go with the wastewater treatment and try to service that entire area.
I get it.
We
Okay.
kind of have a similar problem, though, don't we, with committees that haven't voted on this yet?
Right.
Yeah,
So I'm going to say that
It's
it's the same
definitely-
issue you're running into.
Definitely
way.
some issues there, yeah.
Isn't the main issue at Howard space? Not so much the building, but
I
more
agree.
space.
yeah, which is why I thought if you moved one grade into the new school, let's say you still built it at that Roselle site, built the new school, but a smaller school, but enough to absorb another grade, then you're spreading the kids that are in Howard out.
K through 4.
But is that what you were asking? I thought you were saying with this concern about how is space if you put a new school there. Are you referring to?
I was referring to classroom size.
Oh, okay, right.
Classroom size. But space is another point. We were very limited on that site. I love the idea of having a big campus right here at the center of town.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, but realistically, traffic-wise, I just think that would be really, really tough. We would have to have a lot done in advance to make that work.
Mm.
One of the questions I asked several times to everyone related to the schools was, do we have a safety issue regarding the schools? And
Yeah.
they said no,
Yeah, it's
we don't
space.
have a safety
Where are we
issue.
gonna put the kids?
Crowding issue,
There
but no
is-
safety.
There is a safety issue with the site where Rose out. There's one road in.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant right now.
Right
The
now,
existing
yeah.
schools right
No, you're
now.
talking about the new building. There is a safety concern
if you
because
have
there's
one
no,
road in
yeah,
to a building.
Yep.
And there's one, I guess, access for the fire department that's an unimproved route.
mm-hmm,
Somebody, heaven forbid, decides they want to take out the school, the kids in the school. They drive a semi-truck halfway down the road, put it sideways, and
no way out.
how are people supposed to get there to
Yeah.
solve the problem?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's a doomsday
There's a
scenario.
little route behind it, but no, I know what
You
you're
know,
saying.
it's
Yeah.
a terrible thing to say. I shouldn't even brought it up, but it is a concern.
No more
Yeah.
complexity.
No one listens to you. But it is similar to the current setup, which I can
It is, which
understand.
is
It
probably
is.
an
I
untenable
don't know if I would've-
situation as it is, you know?
The current setup, having the 3 playgrounds in the front of the school, is not
Isn't it?
in
No.
safety mode.
No.
I don't care what anybody
Should've
says.
been surrounded.
I don't care how many fences are there. That's just
Right.
not okay. Yeah, that was just a side note.
But again, it was because they didn't have space on the site. to
Understood.
do-
It's really tight, very tight.
Okay.
So what do you need, a motion?
A motion to either recommend or not recommend, I think, is what we're doing, right?
I'll make I don't know, is that what we want, or just a motion to vote,
Refer to voters.
yea or nay?
No, I think we're gonna either, this committee should vote to either
I think we need to
recommend it
recommend
or
or
not
not.
recommend it.
I agree.
So that probably would be the motion.
We need to make a stand.
Yeah,
Well, I guess I'll make a motion to not recommend the
okay,
project.
Second.
okay, so no, not recommend.
Sue says.
Sue second. Okay, all those in favor of not recommending this to the town?
Aye.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All those opposed? At least Mary, I know. Looks like that's our vote, right? Okay, yeah, this is a tough one. It's a really, really difficult, and
Yep.
I know
No
it's
doubt
gonna be
about it.
difficult on the voters as well, because it's just not easy. I mean, everybody wants good education for the kids.
Right.
There's no doubt we need change.
Right.
Just,
For sure.
This is the change we need.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and next thing on,
Minutes?
yeah, approve the meeting minutes of October 16th. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
No?
Second.
Scott? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. We're gonna accept the meeting minutes of January 8th and 14th for review. Do we have a motion on that?
Moved.
Thank
Second.
you, Chris and Sue. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, that's done. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Motion, did you wanna say something?
I do.
Yeah.
I just want to remind the committee, as you said, that the meeting will be this Saturday at 10. I'll have you posted at 9:30. I think getting there early will be good.
Parking.
And then next week, February 5th, will be your first finance committee budget meeting.
Yeah.
So budget season starts.
It's my birthday, do we have to?
Well, you're the chair. I follow what you guys tell me to do. So
We'll
But,
bake you a
um,
cake,
Thank you.
and that's at 6:00, correct?
Your choice,
Finance
historically, we've
committee.
done 6:30,
Um,
but if you want us to start at 6, then we'll start at 6.
Yeah, can folks get here at 6 and then you get out early? Does that work for everybody? And that would be presenting as well, do you think? Any challenges there?
I'll reach out if there is, I'll let you know.
You guys okay with 6?
That's next Thursday, right?
Yeah.
February
Um,
5th at 6.
So just to be clear, going forward, is 6:00 gonna be the standard start time then?
Does that work for people?
Works for me.
I like that.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
Definitely works for Dave.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Motion to adjourn?
Move.
Second.
Thank you, Paul and Chris. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay.